feel like at this point in my life, I found myself enjoying almost every corner of every major fandom there is. Like, seriously. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Doctor Who, I kinda just like it all at this point. But if there's one fandom I found myself missing out on, it was Lord of the Rings. And it's insane because they're so popular and even I know what they're about. Few hobbits, a dwarf, an elf, a wizard, and 2 humans have to get 1 ring from point A to point B. Also there's this Fire Eye, there's Smeagol. One film won a freaking Oscar for Best Picture, and seeing that quarantine's been pretty boring, I figure there's no better time than now to leap into the world of Middle-earth. Only thing is that I know all the major spoilers from the original trilogy. I mean all. I'm a huge fan of the recap rap series from the Warp Zone, but anyways, so yeah. I know everything that happens, like everything. I have those lyrics burned into my brain, so I know what happens. So if you watch the recap rap, I promise you'll know that I know everything that happens. May not have the full context, but I just know all the spoilers. Anyways, so I decided to do something a little bit different. I watched the Hobbit trilogy first.
Boy, have you lost your mind, cause I'll help you find it.
Yeah, I know. Weird place to start. But I also wanted to give this a shot as I never hear anyone speak good about them. I do kind of see why, but does that mean I'll feel the same way exactly? Well, let's find out. The first movie, in my opinion, is okay. I don't love this movie, but I have a good damn time watching this. Peter Jackson and the production crew very much loved coming back to this world, and it shows. I love that Hobbiton is where we spend most of our time in the first act. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I really enjoyed being in this environment, especially as it was my first time. It sets up our main protagonist of the trilogy. Martin Freeman's performance is just so perfect as Bilbo. He brings the right amount of charm and lovability to the character that was needed for this portrayal. He's so funny and heartwarming. Every word that he says just feels genuine. I don't think there's anything else I can say that people haven't said about his performance yet. It's spot on. Everybody agrees on that. Besides him, we have Sir Ian McKellen back as fucking Gandalf. Even though I don't watch these movies, like, he's just iconic. I love that he's very much wise and loves to crack a joke, but he's still a badass. You don't want to mess with this dude. And then we have the dwarves. Which are more miss than hit for me. If you don't know, the dwarves are basically the center of the movie's plot. You see, a while back, the dragon Smaug had attacked the city of Dell and stole the kingdom of Erebor in the Lonely Mountain, and that's where the dwarves were from. Now they're homeless, and they're locked out of their kingdom. The grandson of the King Thorin has rallied a group of them and is planning to go there with Gandalf and his choice of a burglar to take back the kingdom. And after a night of partying and deciding there's no tomorrow, Bilbo says screw it and decides to travel with them. I mean, he's sort of like kind of nudged by Gandalf, but you know. Anyways, but like I was saying, there's too many dwarves in this movie. There's like only 4 that I think that I really liked. And it's only kind of. They got like 2 or 3 scenes each, the 4 that I'm talking about that I liked in this entire trilogy, and that's it. The rest of them are basically there for like comedic relief. It's just, it's too many cooks. I'm sorry, guys. I do want to go ahead and add that, yeah, I will be using some Lego footage so that this video doesn't really get claimed. I do hate that that's something that I gotta do, but, you know, I want to keep the bills going around here, so I don't get paid for any of this, by the way. I just don't want my video getting, you know, blocked. So, yeah. That's why you see some Lego gameplay footage that I recorded. I actually just got the 100%. Nobody asked, but I just wanted to go ahead and, you know, tell you about it. Let's talk about some slow points. I think it's a little bit after the Goblins dinner scene that this movie slows down for me. It's not entirely boring, but it just feels like they're padding out the runtime in Rivendell. And I get that it's to set up Sauron from Lord of the Rings, but it just feels unnecessary. Although seeing Cate Blanchett and Ian McKellen is something that I didn't know that I wanted. I'm thankful those scenes exist. It's nice to see these characters together, and we didn't really get that in the original trilogy, which, by the way, yes, I did watch after I watched these movies, and maybe I'll cover them in a video if these do good. But back to what I was saying. Radagast. Oh, Radagast. I didn't find him as annoying as other people did, but I just did not care for this dude. Also, how dare you use one of the most underrated doctors in Doctor Who and turn him into the Jar Jar Binks of your movie? Although it's not a common thing to do that with doctors. Like, I feel so bad for the doctors actors whenever they go do projects afterwards. What's up, Hollywood? Y'all misusing these people. And we're finally to the part that gives us one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, probably in the trilogy. Gollum and Bilbo in the Lonely Mountain is so amazing. The CGI on Gollum has aged so well, and it's tuned up a bit here for the Hobbit trilogy. I think it's just so perfect. Andy Serkis, oh my god, I love this guy. Every time he appears in something, I'm just like, yes. And I don't know how I still haven't seen the Planet of the Apes trilogy, but I've got to get around to seeing them. Also, while I did say that this is my favorite part of the movie, it has a parallel that's also my least favorite part of the movie. The goblins. Fuck these goblins. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I don't know. I think there's trolls, and then we got goblins, and then we got stone giants, and then we got orcs, and I'm calling them goblins. Fuck these goblins. Fuck the Goblin King. I hate that song that they play. Yes, I watched the extended edition. I fucking hate everything about these scenes. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't care that Gandalf looked badass when he saved them. Fuck these goblins. Fuck them. Anyway, skip forward, and Bilbo has the One Ring, and I'm glad they don't build it up too much in this trilogy. It's important, but it's not really needed here. He uses it a lot throughout the trilogy, but we know about Lord of the Rings. Even if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, you quickly understand what this ring is about and how its story really isn't going to come into fruition until that story comes along. I'm glad that it feels like it's just casually thrown in, unlike the Necromancer stuff. That stuff is just... it's just weird. I think they trust the audience to know what it's all about, and that's exactly how it should be handled. But that Necromancer stuff... you guys just hit a little bit too hard on it. Let's go ahead and cover the ending of the movie. So I know I haven't been bringing up the character of Azog that much, but fuck that character as well. He's only there to be the counter opponent to Thorin, but we already have a threat. That threat is Smaug. That alone is enough. Also, we got the elves. Those are going to be built up soon, so why would you focus on Azog? Also, you guys had Manu Bennett, Deathstroke, fucking Deathstroke from Arrow, play a CGI character who doesn't speak a word of his proper language. Oh my god, what a fucking big miss. Huge miss. You guys wasted Deathstroke. But anyways, I wanted to bring him up because the final climax of the movie is them against Azog and his people. And it's pretty good in my opinion. I know I don't say it enthusiastically, but I'm serious. I really like this climax. I like Azog teasing Thorin and Bilbo stepping up. It just makes me like Martin a whole lot more as Bilbo, and that tackle moment gave me chills. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's just how I reacted on both viewings. So anyways guys, this is the part of the video where my microphone actually gave out. I don't know how long it's been doing this. I guess I suspected when I started doing videos earlier, like my Rise of Skywalker, you can clearly hear something just so unfortunately I cannot continue with my professional mic, so you're just gonna have to hear audio through this. So let's just go ahead and start moving forward. Sorry about that, by the way, if it gets annoying. Anyways, the eagles come in and save them. I know I've been saying fuck a lot, but fuck these eagles. I hate every time they show up. They're kind of like the perfect ex machina in this series, and it bothers me because they appear at least one more time I can recount in Battle of Five Armies. Like I said, we'll get there in due time, but it still bothers me. And another thing that does bother me is how Thorin just kind of flips a switch on Bilbo after he saves him. It just seems too early for us to be doing this. I guess if it was done in like halfway through Battle of Smaug, I mean Desolation of Smaug, or somewhere in Battle of Five Armies, which I guess it kind of does. Maybe, you know, it just feels weird here for them to just have him hating him. I'd say just slowly build towards that hate in this movie, and then we get to, you know, where Thorin is just not a big Bilbo fan in the middle of Desolation. And maybe that could have, like, worked better, you know, based on what happens in Desolation. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I do like the ending of this movie, where they're just on the hill, and then we get the Smaug guy, and then we cut to credits, and I just love it. So let's go ahead and just jump into our final verdict? Well, I don't feel like this is a complete story, as it feels like an entry that belongs to a trilogy that was shot back to back. I still liked it. The New Zealand laws do bring it down a peg for me. If you're not aware of what was going on at the time, I'd highly suggest the Lindsay Ellis documentary series, especially parts 2 and 3 of her Hobbit review. It'll fill you in on a whole lot more, by the way. But yeah, it's pretty insane what was going on at the time, and still a bit today, you know. Anyways, like I said, I like this movie, but it's not a complete movie because it ties in too much to the other two. And not to mention that this was originally just going to be a 2-movie series, and then Warner Brothers was like, well, it worked so well last time, just go ahead and throw this in there. So, yeah. I do have a good damn time watching this. I've seen it twice, and I really liked it. I'm not on the loved it, but I do give it a low B-. It's just a good time, you know, so... if you guys want to, you know, click that subscribe button, you know, go ahead, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I do plan on covering the next 2 movies, and if these do good enough, maybe even Lord of the Rings. So, you know, anyways, I'll see you next time. Amen out.
I do believe the worst is behind us.
Oh, fuck off.